Why do I? I need to take a picture of Brent. He looks like he's something from Mad Max with the thing over. Well, good evening and welcome to Thursday Night Live. My name is Ron. I'm the pastor of Vital Point Church, and it is so great to be coming to you tonight through your screen, and it's an exciting evening. We're going to spend the next 25 minutes together, and we're going to spend some time listening to some music. I've got a few thoughts for you that I've been thinking about from the Bible, and my hope in all of this, and my prayer has been, and the team that's here with me tonight, are praying that something that is said or done will speak to you, will speak deeply into your heart and your soul, and will encourage you just a little bit. You know, where I am right now in London, Ontario, it's been a beautiful sunny day, and I just hope that this will be able to encourage you along with the weather that we've been having here as well. You know, tonight as we transition into this first song, it's a beautiful song that I know will encourage many of you and inspire many of you. So I'm going to hand it over to two of our team members, Mike Flute and Desiree Baker. They're going to do this song for us. Let's take a listen.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 'Cause you are waymaker, darkness. My God, that is who you are. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
So, I have a confession to make here at Thursday Night Live. This afternoon, I had to make a trip about an hour north of the city that I live in, and I was driving in the car, and I was thinking about tonight. And I knew that Mike and Desiree were going to be doing this song, and I put the song on my car stereo, and I cranked it really loud. And I sang the song a couple times. And you need to know that I'm not a very good singer, so it's a good thing no one else was in the car. But I was just singing away. And the reason why I was singing, because there are sometimes we need songs like this to remind ourselves of who God is. These days, we're just so bombarded by so many different messages. There's so much confusion at times. And what I love about moments like this on Thursday Night Live is that we can take these songs and we can put them right in front of you. It's almost like a fine dining experience with the song and the words. Like the words, Waymaker. I mean, think about the truth of who God is, that He is the promise keeper. You know, I've been hearing lots of stories the last few weeks about people experiencing the Waymaker God, where people who were looking at their lives and thinking that their lives were falling apart, and the realization was that He was actually at work putting things together, bringing something new. But I've also been hearing the stories of people who can't get out of bed in this season, hearing stories of job loss and family breakdown, marriage breakdown, and the financial situations, and just the deep agony and the darkness of the soul and of the mind. And I can't help but think about the truth that we've been just listening to, is that He truly is the Waymaker. And even though you may not feel like it right now, I know that. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to lie awake at night at 3 a.m. and just wonder, God, are you really going to provide a way? And maybe the simplicity of what He's asking us to do is to trust Him and to be faithful to the truth and allow Him to show Himself to us in the midst of our pain, in the midst of our sorrow. I'm going to say a prayer for us as this song winds up, and then I'm going to dive into the Bible and just share a few thoughts with you. So let me pray. God, we are going to stand on the promise that You are the Waymaker, that You are the promise keeper. I think of scriptures that tell us that even though we're pressed on every side, that You will not abandon us. And God, there are some right now sitting on a back deck, doing some gardening, having it on their iPad or their phone right now, listening to these words, and You're speaking to them very directly right now. You're whispering in their ear, deep within their souls. God, I pray for the courage that each will need to step into these truths and allow them to become part of who they are. Thank You that You are a God who provides a way in the wilderness. In Jesus' name, amen. Just want to share a few thoughts with you from the Bible. You know, one of the things that I love to do is I love to study the Bible. And you're like, yeah, no kidding, Ron, you're a pastor. You have to study the Bible. I get to teach the Bible on a somewhat regular basis. I get to reflect on it. But what you might not know is that I love to read the Bible apart from my profession. It is true that I work for a church and I'm a pastor, and that it's important that I be in this particular book and to study it and to read it. But on a personal level, I have worked really hard at making sure that I allow this book to speak into my life. And there's moments where God wrecks me, or God reveals to me at times truth that centers me, that brings me back to who he is. Recently, I was reading through Second Chronicles, and it's a book in the Old Testament, and it's this list of kings, and you get to hear about these different kings, and oftentimes they'll be described as a king that did evil in the sight of God's eyes, or they did right in the sight of God's eyes, and there's always this kind of tension, and you can see the difference in how they dealt with things, and how they led, and how they fought battles in this ancient tribal context that's way outside of our complete understanding. But as I was reading the other day, I came across a section in 2 Chronicles chapter 17 with this king named Jehoshaphat. Now, I want to dare anyone who's having a child in the next few months, and it's a son, to name him Jehoshaphat. I think it'd be the most amazing thing to do. But this is what the king's name is. It's Jehoshaphat. And the king comes on the scene, and it's described that he is a man who is follows the way of God. He is deeply committed to the way of God. It says in chapter 17, verse 6, that there's an element of his understanding that his leadership in his life is fully committed to God. And in doing that, he has removed all of the idols in Judah and in Israel, and he removes these things from the culture and the society that he's living in. And what you begin to realize is that in the process of being committed to God, there's an aspect of how God blesses him. It's fascinating. And he becomes very wealthy. He becomes very rich. And it becomes very clear that God is really showing him what it means to follow him. Now, as he's leading, there's this interesting moment over in chapter 20. And this is like over a stretch of time, like 17, 18, 19, and 20 of 2 Chronicles. And it's described that there is an enemy that is going to come, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're going to apply external pressure to King Jehoshaphat. There's a messenger that comes and tells him that there's armies that are coming towards him that are going to fight him. And in this moment, I was reading this the other day. In chapter 20, verse 3, it says, Jehoshaphat was terrified by this news. He was terrified by this news. I love the truth of the reality of this king, the most powerful position in all of Judea and Israel. He is the most powerful person, and he is terrified. He's acknowledging the fact that this is an external pressure that has internal turmoil. It's confusing to him. It's terrifying to him. But notice what happens when he hears the news of this army coming after him. It says that he begged the Lord for guidance. He also ordered everyone in Judah to begin fasting, so people from all the towns of Judea came to Jerusalem to seek the Lord's help. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. Here's the most powerful guy. He's the king. Like, there's nobody more powerful than him on earth in this time. And in this moment, he doesn't call a strategy meeting. He doesn't kind of rally the troops and say, what are we going to do? How are we going to fight against this? He immediately seeks the guidance of God. In the midst of this external pressure, which was creating an internal turmoil, he immediately went before God. And in doing so, he was leading God's people. He went to God for guidance. I find that interesting because I know that there are times in my life where when I have external pressures that often look like an internal thing, creates turmoil in my life. And I've come through things in the last number of months that have created that kind of pressure in my life. And what I love about this moment is that it helps me understand that I don't have to come up with a strategy plan, although that might be a good idea. We don't have to come up with, a bunch of solutions to what the problem is. No, simply going to God in guidance. So think about it for your life right now. Maybe you're trying to decide if you say yes or no to that special person. What would it look like for you to take guidance? Go to God for guidance immediately. First thing, I respond to God for guidance. I go to him. I inquire him, and I inquire him of his wisdom for my life in the decision-making process. Maybe it's a job change. Actually, I was going to put Mike on the spot, who just played guitar for us, but I can't do that right now because it would be kind of awkward camera-wise. But I've walked with him as he's made some big changes in his career over the last number of months. And we have talked about God's guidance in his life. He's been seeking God. Him and his wife, Meg, they've been seeking God in his guidance. There was a time when our church was making some significant changes. When we were physically gathering, we had one location, and we were looking at possibly doing a second location in South Huron in the town of Exeter. And one of the things was we were seeking God's guidance in the midst of it. Yes, we were planning and thinking about it, but primarily we were going, God, what is it that you would have us do? Now this is interesting. King Jehoshaphat, in the midst of all this, seeking God, and everyone gathering together, he's actually gathered them around in the courtyard of the temple. So they're there in this space, and he begins to pray. The king prays in front of all these people. This is so inspirational. Let me read it for you. It says this, he prayed, "O Lord God of our ancestors, you alone are the God who is in heaven. You are ruler of all the kingdoms of the earth. You are powerful and mighty. No one can stand against you. O our God, did you not drive out those who lived in this land when your people Israel arrived? And did you not give this land forever to the descendants of your friend Abraham? Your people settled here and built this temple to honor your name. They said, whenever we are faced with any calamity such as war, plagues, or famine, we can come to stand in your presence before this temple where your name is honored. We can cry out to you to save us, and you will hear us and rescue us." What is the king doing? King Jehoshaphat is doing two things. He is recalling the truth of who God is and recalling what God had done. Was he doing it to remind God? I don't think God needed reminding. He knew what he had done. What he was doing in this moment in seeking the guidance was he was positioning himself in a way to reflect on who God was and is and what he had done. And in doing so, the people that were following this king, King Jehoshaphat, they were recalling the goodness of God and his provision and how he had rescued them and how he had provided a way for them. Why? Because he's the way maker. He provided a way for the ancestors of these people. When God's people were delivered from Egypt and they were going towards the Red Sea, God provided a way, opened up the Red Sea, and his people passed through that moment because God is the way maker. He even acknowledges, the most powerful position in all of the land. He even says, we are powerless against this mighty army that is about to attack us. We do not know what to do for help. Right? What is it? No, you need help with. In your heart, this Paul this Paul this is you powerless. Is that they have know the God surrendered it all to him, and that they cannot do anything apart from this. Someone and first day people just go out with. I think that some of us just need to discourage. I love this moment. Like, it just fires me up. I just think it's the most incredible thing, because in this moment, fear is gone. In this moment, anxiety begins to fade away. In this moment, see a group of people who are the battle. He's God. Thanks to the Lord, faithful love. It's amazing. Guidance in the help of God, he allowed himself in a way to praise and worship that moment. Right now, there is a God who offers grace to you, and even though you don't feel like you deserve it, and even though you feel shame and you've been trying to run on your own strength, right now you can allow this love and this grace to pour over you. Right tonight, right where you are. Run. Wouldn't it be amazing tonight? Just simply surrender to the amazing grace God is. Saying to you right now, just come to me. Jesus said this in chapter 11, verse 20. All you who are weary and careful, come to me and I will give you rest. Do you need rest? Physical rest? I'm talking about the soul, because the turmoil, the external pressures that have created internal, he just wants to offer to you. Jesus says, come and I will give you rest. Grace. With the song, and when they're finished, I'll come back, close up with a few words, but I just want you to listen to this beautiful song as they sing it for us.
Who breaks the power of sin and darkness? Whose love is mighty and so much stronger? The King of glory, the King above all kings. Who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder and leaves us breathless in awe and wonder? The King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. our chaos back into order, who makes the orphan a son and daughter, the King of glory, the King of glory, who rules the nations with truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of its brilliance, the King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me.
Well, thank you to Mike and Desiree for doing that for us. And one of the tech guys just whispered at me, we want to apologize for the screen that happened. Who knows, with technology and online church, sometimes these things just happen. You know, one of the lines in that song was, "You are the king above all kings." And it struck me how the king, Jehoshaphat, went to his king for guidance and comfort. And I love that truth for us, and I hope that that truth has been resonating with you right now. So I want to just invite you back on the weekend, Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, church online at Vital Point, and we'd love to have you part of it. We're beginning a brand new series called Audible God, and we'd love to have you part of that. Thank you for joining tonight, Thursday Night Live. God bless you. We'll see you next week.